You're now tuning into the Peer Advocates, Dating/Relationships Part 2. You know, we had to do a woman's perspective. And today we got my co-host, Paycheck in the Cut.
Paycheck, you know what's up? We out here.
Yes, sir. And man, we got a really special guest. She goes by the name Safia.
Hi, guys. I'm so happy to be here.
That's what's up, Safia.
How are you guys doing tonight?
Good, good. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm excited. I'm ready to delve into this subject.
Okay.
All right, Safia, what do you think is wrong with this generation when it comes to dating/relationships?
I don't like the word wrong because I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with dating and relationships. I think it's just how things are now versus how they used to be maybe in the past or how they will be in the future. I think the internet plays a huge part in how we like date and have relationships now because obviously we live in this digital era. So, but I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with it.
What's sort of your perspective on like dating in this generation?
I think dating has become kind of, I think it's become watered down. I think we're no longer a generation that dates for marriage like we saw like generations before us. It's become more of a casual thing. Sometimes for some people, it's become a way to pass time or get their needs met, whether that be emotionally, financially, or like, because I know like people who go on dates just to go get meals, you know, and just to be like out here, or people that they're just bored and they want something to like fill their time. It's not really something that's like, for most people anymore, like a substantial before step to getting married.
Okay. Why do you think that is though?
Because I think that as a generation, this generation doesn't really value that type of lifestyle, like the married, having kids, gender roles lifestyle where like the woman is at home and the man goes to work. I don't think that's something that's necessarily relevant anymore. To some people, obviously, it always will be, but for the majority, I feel like everyone's so used to being able to like meet their own needs. So like women will go to work, men go to work, everyone's paying their own bills. So it's not really something that's like necessary anymore.
What has been your experience as a woman in the dating scene?
I think that men are entitled. I think men are entitled. This is my experience. This is my experience as a woman, because you asked me what's my experience as a woman in the dating scene. I feel like it's hard for me to curve men because or say, hey, I'm not interested because they don't hear it. And I feel like men feel like it's a chase and women are a conquest, which is a problem in and of itself, but that's a different topic. But I think that my experience has been, it's been hard for me to like tell people, hey, I'm just not into you because they don't hear that. Now I just say I'm looking for a guy to pay my bills. That gets them running away so fast. They go.
I mean, there are a lot of men out there that will do it.
There are, yeah. But
they get in relationships just to, pay bills and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, well, expecting something. But then I hit them with the I'm celibate right after. So it's like, oh, you expect me to pay your bills and you're not going to have sex with me. So what, like, because I'm not going to have sex with you to pay my bills. That's prostitution.
Right. That's a fact. So, I mean, I'm saying, like, how often do you think that happens, though? As far as, like, women, having to be able to, like you said, quote, unquote, curve guys or, like, But do you really, like, in a sense, though, if the ideal man approaches you, you know what I mean? Does it mean necessarily that he might just try to get to know you? Like,
can you elaborate? Like,
so, like, for example, like, face value wise, you know what I'm saying? Like, you see a guy, oh, I'm not interested. He might be a good dude, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're gonna get to that a little later too.
Okay. I think off the bat, I don't just say, oh, I'm not interested. I think that like everybody has things that they look for in a partner, whether that be physical, and it's a mix of physical attributes as well as personality, as well as like just what they got going on and where they're heading in life. And I think off the bat, first impressions are really important. So I think that obviously someone you might not be interested in at all off the bat might steal your heart in the long run, and you never know what can happen. And I get where you're coming from in that sense, but for the most part, my gut instinct is right. Like if I see a guy and I'm like, hey, I don't think that we're gonna be compatible, then for the most part, that's usually how it ends up being. Also, though, that could be because I'm maybe women and myself are telling ourselves a story behind, okay, if I've already convinced myself that I don't like you, then chances are I'm not gonna like you because I've already told myself that I don't. So
would you say women should approach men more?
no. And as someone who has approached men, I am completely against it. Like, and
Why is that?
I can say this. Okay. So I have, like, in my last relationship, I did the approaching and I was the one very much like trying to be with him. And what happened was when we got together, the roles were a little fumbled up. Like I was wearing the pants in my relationship more than I should have been. And I feel like that was because of the way we started out, though, because it's like we started out with me pursuing him. So it's like already the story was like I'm pursuing you, and that narrative just continued on into our relationship, and it was really hard for me to just try to switch it back to a narrative where I'm the one that's being pursued, or I'm the one that's like maybe the submissive one.
So it's a power dynamic.
There's a
basically.
power dynamic, exactly, which is why men are usually the ones to approach women anyways, is because of that power dynamic. Okay. And it
Was
really
it fun
exists.
wearing the pants while it lasted?
No,
No, it wasn't.
not at all. I mean,
I
every
said that
girl
in the
has.
last episode.
Yeah.
No, I agree with her though. Like
I think different girls want different things. So if you had another woman sitting here, maybe she would say, yeah, I love to wear the pants in my relationship. I like the control. I like being the one in charge. I personally don't at all. I like to be, in my relationships at least, I like to be more of the one that's like submissive, I guess. Not in the sense of like, oh, I'm going to let a man control and run my life. Not at all. I don't think my man should have any say in what I wear, what I do, who I hang out with. That's none of your business. Our relationship is our relationship. It has nothing to do with anybody else or what I do outside of it. But just in general, I think I'm personally attracted to men who are alpha and are able to like take care of me and take the lead. Yeah.
So I got a lot of DMs from a lot of men out there from different states, and what I got from a lot of their messages was that, you know, a lot of them are educated, they're, you know, got very good jobs and a lot of things going for them. Mm-hmm. And to a lot of women out there, they might not come off very attractive or whatever the case might be. Mm-hmm. And a lot of these guys, you know, these women they don't give them a chance. You know what I mean? They get turned down, and they might go on a date or two, but like they don't make it to the end zone. Mm-hmm. And so can we hold women accountable for that? In 2021, can we do that? Because there's a lot of single dudes out there, and they solid.
Yeah.
Like, ready to get married. Everything is smooth. You know what I mean?
So what you just described is a problem that the man has. So why is the woman being held accountable for something that has to do with the guy?
Because they're rejecting these guys. They're not
why?
giving them opportunity. I don't know. That's the thing.
I mean, I have my theory.
What is your theory?
My theory is that people, I feel like a lot of girls want kind of the same type of dudes.
Which is?
Majority of the time, like, okay, an alpha dude, but most of the time it's like a bad boy. They want a type of dude that, you know what I'm saying? It's certain specific, like, street
I think
type
that's
of
this
dudes.
generation, though.
You know what I mean?
This younger generation.
But
not like...
There's a fit in a mold of, like, social media like that girls look to. And then the average dude who's just a really nice guy who's going to be a good husband doesn't typically get the girl that he wants. You know what I mean?
Shout out to them. Shout out to you guys out there, man. We support you, man.
Like
we stand
the
with you
nice
guys.
guys finish last, like context.
Yeah, it's almost like 80% of girls are looking for the same thing. You know what I mean?
Well, then the question is then what is the man looking for? Because I think that the 80% of the girls that you're talking about are like girls that maybe how do I describe this? I think it's like there's a certain type of girl that the average so-called guy wants then, because there are girls that exist that don't want a bad boy, that don't want a thug. I do not need the drama of a thug. I do not want the street life. I do not need your baby mama drama. Matter of fact, most girls who have their lives together and are like average in and of themselves want guys who are nice guys working average jobs and just are all around going to be good husbands. So it's like, it's not 80%. It's 80% of the woman that they are looking for, which happens to be a certain type of girl in and of herself, which is usually the girl that's maybe on Instagram, like, and everybody's on Instagram, but like, you know what I'm talking about, like IG model types. That's the type of girl you want. That type of girl probably wants a bad boy, you know, and they're made for each other. So it's like, find who you're made for, because everyone's like made for somebody.
Yeah.
I feel like in my experience, I've seen like girls who were like, they see those IG model girls that they want to be like. And so they're like, I'm not going to date this dude. Like that girl wouldn't date that type of dude. You get what I'm saying?
I think men do that more than women. I think men will date a woman. A man will date a woman because other men want her. He might not even be interested in her at all. And
true.
like not even think that she's attractive or like her, but just because all his homies think she's bad, he has to get her, which is a little homoerotic, a little bit, because it's like, why are you going after a woman because of what men think? So really men are looking at other men and they're getting validated by other men, which is like a little weird. I think women don't do that as much. Obviously, some women do that. Some girls go after guys that other girls want just because other girls want them, but it's definitely more common amongst men to see that, and vice versa.
I feel like it's both.
Yeah. Well, a
they
man
both do it.
also won't date a woman if his homies don't approve of her.
Not all guys, but I feel
I
like
mean,
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
a lot
them.
of guys will
Yeah.
do that.
What's the proper way to approach women? Because I know a lot of brothers, they might see the woman that they want to,
Yeah.
talk to
I think-
in public, and then like they might get a little shy. And then later on, they might send her a
Yeah.
DM on Instagram or find her Snapchat
Oh,
from
don't
somebody.
do that. Don't do that. Don't see me in don't see a
Don't- you
girl
say
in
don't be a
person.
weirdo?
Yeah, don't see a
Yeah.
girl in person and then DM her instead of talking to her in person. Because even if you're shy and you're like really awkward, that's still less awkward than, hey, I saw you. Chances are if you saw her, she saw you. Like most of the time. So it's like if you go out of your way to DM someone instead of approaching them in person, it kind of is already giving up your power. You, as a man, you've already given it up because you're saying, I don't think I'm enough to try to come talk to you in person. So if he doesn't think he's enough, why would she think he's enough? So it's like you have to, even if you're so awkward and you're so shy and it's like nerdy as hell, like it's still, some girls will find it cute. Like some girls, every girl is different in the way that you approach her, you know? So
So last episode, he said that he's all for polygamy, and that every man should have multiple wives, or at
I
least.
did not say every man should have multiple
Wait, hold
wives,
on.
bro.
You say you support the idea.
No, I support the idea 100%. If you can be in a situation where, you know what I mean, where you can handle that, or let's say, for example, it's a situation that you need to be in, I don't see anything wrong with that.
why would you need to be in that situation?
I mean, there's multiple reasons.
Can you list them?
His taxi driver dude from Kenya, I always clown him for that. His taxi driver dude.
No, forget the taxi driver, man. I got family members who are like, you know what I'm saying, who have multiple wives, but they don't live in the city. They live in like, Badio.
Would you, Paycheck, living in Seattle, Washington, living the life you're living right now, would you be able to handle 4 wives, or do you feel like you need 4 wives?
I don't think it's a necessity, as in a sense, like guys, I mean, personally me, I don't just like get married and be like, oh, I can't wait to marry my second wife or my third wife. You know what I mean? Like I can have up to 4 wives. Like I think last time that we were talking about it, I think the dude said like guys, or no, actually you were actually talking about this, how guys get married because they want to have sex with other women or something like that. So they want to make things halal. You know what I'm saying? I think the intention should not be, in a sense, for lust or anything like that. You get what I'm saying? I think the intentions has to be in the circumstances, in the situation you're in. And I don't think every man is capable or able to be, have 4 wives. I don't think so. I think there's a specific type of men, alpha males, who, you know what I'm saying, you have that conversation with your wife, you know what I'm saying, and if she's okay with it.
In 2021, do you think there are any circumstances that would make it, in America specifically,
In America,
any circumstances that would make it like something that is necessary or something that is like even
there could be any type of circumstance, and you never know what the situation recalls. I like I said, I don't think it's a it's a necessary. Like, you don't just wake up one morning and you look over to your wife and say, "Hey, I want to marry a second wife." Like,
Yeah.
I don't see that. You know what I'm saying? That's not my idea of marrying multiple women.
Yeah.
No,
It's happened before. I've seen it, bro.
You're dodging her question.
Yeah.
What you're saying is basically like, let's say somebody's father dies, and then the uncle steps in and marries the mom. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the direction he's going. She's saying, can you marry 4 women in Seattle in 2021?
Living the life that you're living.
Because last
okay, I see.
last
so you're
episode-
saying in a societal perspective, like, can you marry? First of all, it's illegal to marry multiple women in America. It's not.
Well, yeah.
not in Utah. Am I right?
Yeah.
In Utah, polygamy is legal.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, it's legal. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not willing to move there, so.
Okay.
I'm
No,
not
I think
willing
you
to
guys
move
are both
on.
misunderstanding the context of my question. Here in 2021, everybody works. Women work, men work, everyone's providing for themselves. And women are actually, statistics show nowadays that men are actually happier married while women are happier single. So it's like women don't necessarily need a man anymore. Yeah, it's true. That's actually a fact statistic.
I don't know about that. I heard there's a lot of depression and a lot of situations going on.
Well,
just in
obviously,
society.
women don't want to just, I'm not saying all women want to be single. I'm saying if you look, like, there are actual statistics about, okay, men do better in life when they are married, whereas a woman is more successful career-wise when she is single.
Oh, I agree with you,
So, like, is what I'm
100%.
talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mean like she got all her stuff together?
Yeah, she's happier single, and she's more like a single woman is more able to live a fulfilling career, is what I'm talking about. Where a married man is more likely to have a fulfilling career because he has a wife at home taking care of home for him. You know,
So basically, the woman doesn't need a man.
that's kind of in this society. Yeah, we no longer need men for security. So it's like, okay, if I no longer need a man for security, and the whole sole purpose of polygamy is for security, because it's not supposed to be a selfish thing. Like you said, your intentions are not supposed to be selfish. It's not supposed to be based off lust. It's supposed to be actually a selfless thing. It's supposed to be, hey, I am opening up my home for you to provide security for you, and you are giving me in exchange children and legacy, and like it's an exchange. So I feel like, is it necessary in today's society?
But I think it's actually going towards more of that, to be honest with you.
Towards more men being selfish?
More polygamy.
Oh yeah.
in this
No,
society.
I think we're heading towards polyamory, which is different, which is men and women can date and be with whoever they want to be with, and they're just open relationships in general.
Like Will and Jada?
Like Will and Jada, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wait,
Say
why?
he'd rather hang out with Jada.
Jada didn't even say anything bad
What makes a woman satisfied in her relationship?
in her relationship.
Fellas, listen up.
Okay. So I think that, so every woman wants like some core things that every woman across the board wants. That's reliability, like a man to show up for her and the relationship, open and honest communication, trust from both sides, for her being receptive to his trust and him being receptive to her trust. I think that there are the specifics for women that is like, it varies across the board. Different women want different things. Some women are more clingy than other women, so they might want you to check in on them all the time. Some women want their space. So I think that it depends on the woman. But across the board, I think those things that I mentioned, honesty, communication, reliability, and respect, is just something that is like across the board, is how you feel satisfied in a relationship.
Okay.
Loyalty, I think that goes with trust, though, because a relationship comes with commitment already. So it's like, unless you've already decided that you're not going to be committed, which then you're talking about a different form of relationship. But most relationships are, hey, it's us two, and like we're in this, so we're committed to each other. So loyalty falls under that trust.
You think monogamy is a social construct?
I look at monogamy like a business construct. I look at it like a business contract. I look at marriage like a business contract.
Okay, talk about it.
Because I think
Like
that,
business?
yeah.
Like you
and
should have LLC?
it's literally a marriage contract. That's literally what it is. When you file taxes, you file them married or separated or single, right? So it's like your assets are tied to your marital status. Why? Because it's the foundation of a marriage is the same as the foundation as a business. So this is why I always tell women and men, if you're thinking of getting married, you got to look at it the same way you would opening a startup. Would you go into business with somebody that is that you love so much? You know, like I have siblings. I love them to death. Would I go into business with some of them? Probably not, because they maybe don't have the reliability, or like maybe love doesn't make a marriage flow is what I'm getting at. It's like 1% of the marriage. The rest of it, 99%, really comes down to money and how you manage the money. Because when you come together to be married or build a home, build a family, you're building on top of a foundation that you're creating. And that's the same way with business. So you open your business, you build on top of that foundation, and then you start making and managing the money. So it's the exact same formula.
But what about? I mean, there's people that are married that have money.
back in Africa,
There's people that have money.
have no money.
They have success, but but there's also people that have money who have their marriages are just failing completely.
I think the marriage is failing for a multitude of reasons. So, one, obviously, to be in love with someone and to love them is very important in a marriage. I'm not taking that away. I'm just saying it's not the only factor. I've seen so many people, especially young couples, get married to their either high school sweethearts or like people they've been dating for a while, and they're like, oh, but I love him. And they don't understand that, okay, that's not what's going to build a life together, because it's more than just you at that point, because you start to bring children into this world. You are buying property together. You are joining your assets together. There are so many things that in different ways that you're tying yourself to the other person. It's literally why they call it tie the knot. Like when you're getting married, it's because you're connecting yourself to this other person. And if they don't have their foundation within themselves secure and like stable, then what you're doing is you're like kind of anchoring yourself to a sinking ship. That's a tongue twister. But so I think that it's really important for men and women, and I know this episode's not about marriage, we're talking about dating, but like it's really important when you're dating to look at these qualities of the person and understand that, hey, aside from love, am I able to build with this person? Because that's a lot more important.
So we should stop dating in 2021?
No,
There's
I
a lot
didn't
of
say
women,
that.
a lot of modest women out there, they don't believe in dating. They want to
Facts.
jump straight into marriage or
As someone who
marriage.
has jumped straight into marriage, because I got married when I was young. I got married at 19, and I did it like the complete halal way. I just got married, you know? And I completely think that's the wrong way to go about it. Like, obviously, no knock to anybody who does it that way, but I think it's super important to understand who you are tying yourself to, because it goes back to that initial question of like, okay, are you able to have a stable foundation?
Right.
Are you mentally and emotionally secure enough to be able to build with me?
Right.
Because these are questions you cannot know. You can try to like, and I was like this, oh, like, let me just pray. You know, it's going to be okay. Like, God got us. Yes, God got you. Oh, God always has you. God is always with us. But at the end of the day, there are people who just aren't compatible. And if you marry off the bat and you're not compatible, divorce is the most heartbreaking thing you can go through. Like, it is like the hardest thing that you will ever go through. So I don't recommend date. Actually, my dad told me date 1,001 men before you get married. He used to tell me that as a child. He used to tell me that, like, go out and meet people and understand who you're getting into a relationship with, because it's not just fun and games and roses on the bed and da-da-da. Like, you got a joint account? Y'all ever had a joint account? Like, once you get a joint account, things start to get real. It's like, okay, money's coming in, but money's going out, and where is it going to? And like, all these questions. And I'm sure, I don't have any children, but I'm sure once you have kids as well, it gets a little bit more complicated. So
Yeah, I agree. I was going to chime in on that real quick.
right.
I think also we lost like the responsibilities of what men and women hold before they get married. You know, back in the day, like a man, you know, like your father, our fathers. You know what I'm saying? Like they knew they were, you know what I'm saying? They knew their responsibility as a husband, as a man, what they were supposed to do. The women knew their responsibilities. So when they got in the household, like, she's already ready for marriage. She's already ready for marriage. You know what I'm saying? There was no questions asked. You know what I'm saying? And then whatever in between, you had to deal with it. Marriage is not easy, obviously.
no.
So
You get what
would
I'm
you
saying?
let your daughter go on 1,000 dates before she gets married?
Maybe not 1,000, but you know, No, I mean,
How would you want your daughter to go about the whole?
I mean, obviously, I'm gonna talk to her. You know what I'm saying? I would talk to her and educate her on. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's tough nowadays to have children. Let's be real. Like social media, all this other stuff going on. Like some parents, they don't even.
There's a disconnect.
It's a huge disconnect. They don't even know what the heck is going on. This person's feeling like this. These Gen Z kids are freaking sad for no reason and all this other crazy stuff. You know
I'm
what I
Gen
mean?
Z.
You're Gen Z?
I am Gen Z.
Oh, my bad. My fault. No, but you get what I'm saying, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a huge disconnect. So, and the world is changing on a consistent basis. So, I think that you just kind of have to tap in with your kids and figure out what's the best interest.
Yeah, I think that present, like you said, present parents is the key to all of it. I think that women who don't have present fathers in their lives make horrible dating decisions, and men who have toxic relationships with their mothers also make horrible dating decisions. So it's like it's really important for the parents to really hone in on what their children should value, because at the end of the day, you get that as a child. You know, you learn what you value as a kid, and that directly translates into the relationships that you have as an adult. So I definitely think it's important.
It starts
to be
from
present.
home.
It definitely starts from home, yeah. And also people mirror what they see. So a lot of people will get into relationships that look a lot like their parents' relationships. Whereas like if you, like, for example, like my mom kind of wears the pants in the relationship in my household a little bit. Like my dad is more like he's just chill. He likes to just chill. He doesn't like to argue. He likes to just
cooperate?
Yeah, he cooperates, you know. So I think when I was and nothing wrong with it at all, but when I was getting married, I found someone that has a lot of the same attributes as my father, that's just chill and likes to cooperate and like is very going with the flow. And
Right.
so it's kind of like we just mirror what we see growing up.
So you're in the dating market right now. When do you know a guy is too old? Like if a guy hits you up and you look at his profile picture and you're like, damn, this guy look like he's like 42, and you might be like in your mid 20s.
Yeah.
Like is that cool, or is that you gonna give him a chance or what?
I wouldn't date a guy that has any children that are older than me. So I feel like I think age really is just a number unless it's illegal. Emphasis on unless it's illegal. We're not with that groomer shit. But I think that, yeah, if they had a child that was older than me, I think maybe that's too old, because I just wouldn't feel comfortable being a mother figure or like in a relationship with a father that is, their child is older than me, because it's like I already have like respect for someone older than me. So it's like, how am I dating your dad and you're older than me? That's kind of weird. So I think that would be a cutoff for me. I also like, I'm somebody, everybody has different things that they're like are make or break for them in relationships. Me, call me shallow if you will, but like physical attraction is definitely something that's up there for me because of the fact that physical touch is my main love language. So it's like I definitely want to be with somebody that I'm attracted to. And there are, not saying that there are no sexy 40-year-olds. There are sexy 40-year-olds out there, but I also like.
No, fuck. First of all, I'm not 40. But I was laughing because I was like, yo, if the dude's ugly and he still has physical touch, you're not going with it?
No, I'm saying like, wait, why would we be physically touching if I don't think he's attractive?
You could be attracted. You don't. So like I'm saying, like you could.
No,
be
I'm not saying
with who he is.
societally attractive. I have to find him
see,
attractive.
I see, I
it's
see,
like,
I
yeah,
see.
those are two different things. To be honest, I like being the more attractive one in my relationship. So I actually go for guys who are a little ugly. Just a little bit.
Yeah, women.
Yeah, women do that.
I would suggest for that for women.
Why do women do that?
Why
so
do
so
you do
that
that?
they can hold the guy on the leash or something?
No,
The
it's
guy
not
can
that.
always chase her. You know what I'm saying?
The guy always can chase her down.
Because you don't want
Pretty
a guy
boys
that's
are a
going-
headache.
Yeah. He's getting a lot of attention.
That's not
outside.
even, it has nothing to do with the attention from my part. It's really just like, I can't deal with somebody who spends more time getting ready than I do. Like, also, like I said, I think most women just like being the more attractive one, because it does come back to that attention thing for a lot of women. It does come back to like, oh, women like to feel pursued. and they like to feel like they have a lot of options, even though they're usually not checking for their options. Like they're usually like very loyal to their man. It's just like it's nice to feel wanted on a grand scale, right? So it's like, but if that's happening to your partner, your man is getting all of this attention, which is like most women cannot deal with that. You have to be very secure with yourself to watch another woman approach your man and try to talk to him. Whereas most men are kind of it doesn't bother them as much when their girl is being approached, because it's kind of a confidence booster for the man, because men have this egotistical belief that they own women. So it's like, oh, you checking for my girl, all right, whatever, that's my shorty at the end of the day. But it's like women are like, oh my God, is he gonna leave me? All these insecure things, like feelings come up because the power dynamic is flipped there, is inverted.
So there's a lot of men out there that are complaining about, women that live in the Western world, saying that, they compete too much, or they ask for too much, or they're very needy, or whatever the case might be. And a lot of them going back home to get married, like Africa, Kenya, Somali, whatever.
Yeah, a lot of the men are going back
A
home.
lot of the men are going back home. And how do we put an end to that? Because when they do make that move, we still have a lot of women that are single in the Western world. And, that guy that she could have married is now marrying back home.
I think if a man wants a submissive woman that doesn't ask for as much as maybe a woman that grew up in America is asking for, he's entitled to go home and marry someone who does that for him. Just like the woman here should be entitled to find a man that is willing to go above and beyond and do what they want them to do. I don't think anybody should settle for anything that is, I don't think anybody should settle for anything. I think settling is wrong. So if men want quote unquote less problematic women, which is absolutely bullshit, because I live in Hargeisa, women in Africa are problematic as hell, just in different ways. It's like, if that's what you want, then go for it. I also think that it's true that women have become more competitive with men.
Why is that?
I think that as on a grand scale, we are just tired of the bullshit. Like we're just tired. We're tired of men being able to get away with. It's kind of shameful that we as women have stooped down to the level of men, but it's true that we have, because if we look back in the early 2000s, it was really common for men to have multiple girlfriends on the low and like side chicks, and then have his main chick. But that really wasn't a common thing. If you flash back to 2002, 2003, that really wasn't a common thing for women. Women weren't really cheating on their men like that. They didn't have a whole bunch of guys on rotation. But if 2021, most girls got 7, 8, 9, 10 boyfriends, and they don't even know about each other. So it's kind of.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I think that it's just I saw a meme the other day that said, "Don't be mad that I'm just like you, twin." And so it's you taught us, in the sense of men taught women how to behave, and women took that behavior and ran with it and actually executed better than men do, because men get caught. Women don't get caught when they're cheating. Barely ever.
Not all of them, but
Yeah, most of them don't though. Most women can successfully cheat and they won't get caught. That's in my opinion. I can't say that it's a fact, but
Damn, I didn't know that. Do you think social media is the reason why women got so many men in rotation now?
Yeah, I think that social media plays a huge part. Yeah, I think that it's access. People are more accessible to each other now. It's so easy to just keep up with other people's relationships even. We all notice when someone breaks up, they delete their pictures of their boyfriend or their girlfriend. They unfollow each other. It's a crazy way to keep tabs on people's personal lives, publicly. So I definitely think that social media does play a big part in why cheating is so prevalent now in today's society.
You ever got hit on by a married guy before? Or a guy in a relationship?
Yes. Yeah, a relationship, yeah. Married, not so much. I feel like I don't really attract married men in my life. At least I wouldn't be aware that they are married. But anybody that I know is married, I haven't had that experience. But guys in relationships, yes. Guys in relationships with girls, I know, yes. Yes, your boyfriends are in my DMs. I'm sorry, but it's true. It's and it's crazy to me, because it's it makes no logical sense, because it's I know your girlfriend. You know that I know your girlfriend. You know that I respect and genuinely have a good relationship. Maybe we're not best friends, but I have a high-bye relationship with your girlfriend. Why do you think it's okay to approach me? That's a question I'm putting out to you guys. Why do men approach women that they're women? No.
I think only idiots do that. Personally speaking,
Yeah.
you ever do that? Like,
Do I ever hit on a girl that is married?
no,
Or
like
no,
a
like-
girl that's
like-
in a relationship.
Yeah.
You ever try?
Or
to
are you
tap in?
you being in a relationship like hitting on someone that maybe your girl or ex knows?
No, but I've had the opposite happen.
Or someone's in a relationship with one of your homies and they're trying to holler
Well,
at
I'm in
you?
a relationship with a girl and her friends try to holler at me. That's
9
happened.
times out of 10, that's a test. 9 times out of 10, your
Oh,
girl
that's
sent
a
them.
setup.
That's not a
setup.
That's a setup,
That is.
yeah.
Nah, it wasn't. It ain't no test, bro. Typically, what I've seen, I mean, this is me personally. I've seen that a lot of times when guys are in relationships and girls introduce their friends to guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times those girls be looking at the guys like, damn, like
They're
know,
not really
she-
friends.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not good friends of that person, but I've seen it.
There are women out there that do hit on guys
Yeah.
that are in relationships.
Oh
knowing
yeah,
that, and
it's
they,
a
and they know
confidence booster for them. It's well, I wouldn't say ego booster. It's like, oh, he has a girl, but if he's checking for me, that makes me more valuable than his girl, which they're gauging their own value outside of themselves. This is all people who are like secure people don't do this. Normal people who are like have like their lives together and don't have any insecurities don't think like this. But 99% of the world is not normal. 99% of the world is insecure. So like women that do this, that gauge their own value on other women or the men's perceptive of her, that's usually the type of woman that will go after a man in a relationship because it's like a bigger fish to catch. It's like, this one's already taken. So I can take him, making me like putting me, it's like this like, pedestal, and they're trying to find where they fit on the pedestal. Am I worth more than your current girlfriend? Am I worth less than your current girlfriend? But it's like no one can tell you your worth. At the end of the day, you define that for yourself.
So it has nothing to do with the guy like, he's attractive.
No, 'cause
he's
if that guy was single-
stability, he has stability with this girl or
I mean, maybe sometimes girls want like that's true. That's a good factor to point in. Sometimes if like women see another man that's like taking care of his woman, and they're like, I want that. So I don't necessarily agree with it, though. I think that you attract what you are. So I feel like if you just focus on yourself, then you're going to attract somebody that's willing to meet you where you're already at.
That's a good point. So everything comes back to social media. Social media is the problem.
I don't think it is up. I don't think, like I said in the beginning of the episode, I don't think there's anything wrong, and I don't think it's a problem. I think it's just how it is, and it's just
You said
different.
last
I think social
episode that
media is wrong.
you said women have access to 1,000 guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's the problem in today's society.
yeah, I mean, there's something called hypergamy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Hypergamy is when men and women both do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I can have better. You know what I'm saying? It's the whole idea that I can have more or something better than what I currently have. For example, if you're dating a guy, he makes $40,000 a year. You know what I'm saying? You're on IG, you're popping, you know what I'm saying? You get dressed up. He's liking this random dude liking your pics. He makes, you know what I'm saying, $500K a year, and he's willing to fly you out. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that all women would do that, but it happens.
Well, I think it's super important to understand when you get into a relationship, a committed relationship, to understand that there is commitment there for a reason. If you're not willing to commit, then don't get into a relationship. And like there's always going to be someone that looks better. There's always going to be someone that makes more money. There's always going to be someone that has better sex. There's just like there's a million factors, but you've already chosen this person for reasons that are true to you. Everyone has their own separate reasons as to why they get into a relationship, but I think that access is not the problem. Like, because you're always going to have access to people. I think loyalty is the problem. And I think we've made it okay in this society to not be loyal. If we look at music, today's modern day music, like what we're listening to, the lyrics that they're saying, like it's all things that are perpetrating a narrative of, oh, I don't need to like be loyal. Like the cheating is so like normalized now that it's actually like the popular thing to do. So I think that like it's really important to just understand that commitment is this, like, and that goes back to my point of like relationships being like business contracts. When you are doing a startup, you have to go to work every single day, right? You're committed to your startup. Otherwise, you're not making money. You're just a failed entrepreneur. But to be a successful entrepreneur, you show up every single day for your job. That's the same thing. You have to show up every single day for your relationship. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
Like if a guy jumps in your DM right now,
Yeah.
what's his net worth got to be? How much money does he have to make a year for you to be like, all right, I'll consider him. Let me go on a few dates and see how this goes.
Okay. So like I said, every woman is different. You know, I think for me, you have to at least match or make more than what I'm making. So without baiting out my own net worth, you have to match what I'm making or make more than that. Because if you're making less than me, then that power dynamic we spoke about earlier is inverted again. It's like, okay, I will say it honestly, I'm looking for a guy to pay my bills because in my last relationship, I paid the bills. So like I understand that the power dynamic with the money, it's nothing to do with the money and everything to do with the relationship as a whole. Like if the man is the one being the provider, then I'm more willing to go into my role as the home maker. So like women in general, this is what we do. We multiply anything a man gives us. You give me a house, I give you a home. You give me groceries, I give you a meal. You give me sperm, I give you a baby. Like, so it's like, I like my role. Some women will tell you they don't like gender roles. I'm not one of those women. I genuinely like the gender roles and how they're set up to be in society. I like a man to be the provider, and I like the woman to be the one that's taking care of the house. Even, that doesn't mean you don't have to work. You definitely can and you should. I plan to work for the rest of my life, but my kids and my house will always come first. So it's like, for me, I think that I will only go for a man that's willing to provide for me 100%. Also, though, I'm not willing to compromise my lifestyle. So that's why I said it has to match or more, because I'm not willing to meet anybody at a lower or like settle for anything less than what I'm already living like. So I'm not going to change my lifestyle. So either meet me where I'm at, or elevate me, or get out of my face.
Okay. Wow. That was a lot. That was good. I think I know in that perspective that I think that might be something. I mean, you've obviously been in a relationship. You know what you want at this point.
Yeah.
But I feel like in this society in America, there's a lot of women who think like that, in a sense of he needs to either make as much as I do or more than I do. He has to uplift me, elevate me. Has nothing to do with the guy and what, you know what I'm saying, necessarily what he wants. Not saying anything about you. But, you know, a lot of times, too, we live in a society where women are getting educated a lot more. You know what I'm saying? They're working a lot more. They're doing a lot more in this society. And, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, the playing field is starting to come up like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the problem is that 80% of men don't make more than $40,000 a year in America.
And there are a lot of women who make less than $40,000 a year. Go find them. I'm not one of them, so don't find me.
What I'm trying to say is that what I'm noticing is a lot of girls are looking for that. Oh, he needs to make a good money. He needs to take care of me.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
And it's just like, not every man is gonna have that.
Yeah.
He might be a good dude. He might have good dean. He might have, you know what I'm saying?
That's
he might
true.
have all these true qualities to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at the same time, like, typically, like you said, you give a man, you know what I'm saying? He gives you a house, you know what I'm saying? You make it a home and everything. If that man is able to do at least one out of those three things for you, then help him up. Because we've seen men, obviously,
But I
men
didn't
uplift.
say,
You know what I'm saying?
what I said was I'm not willing to compromise the lifestyle I'm already living. So when you're talking about women that say, hey, I want a man to take care of me, that does not mean I want a man to take me out of the current situation that I'm living in and put me into a better one. Because that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I refuse to be taken out of my current situation and put into a worse one. So it's like, I already provide for myself. So if you can't match the amount of like that I'm doing for me, what are you bringing to the table? Also, don't ask a woman what she's bringing to the table, because the table is not her responsibility. Real men understand that the woman is the building in which the table resides in, and that the maintenance of that table is their responsibility. I don't have to bring anything to the table because I am already, like I said, women multiply by nature. So like you give me a house, I give you a home. You give me groceries, I give you a meal. It's like I'm already bringing this feminine energy into your life. So it's like, are you going to bring the masculine into mine? Which which is what a provider is, masculine energy.
So I have a quick question. What if he's like in school, right? He's feeling you. He wants to get with you immediately.
Yeah.
But he has 2 years left of college.
Yeah.
And when he graduates, he's going to make six
Like
figures.
6 figures, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Are you willing to wait and be patient with him and kind of uplift him until you guys get to that goal?
Well, I think
and y'all
that
set for life?
me specifically, I wouldn't ever jump into anything off the bat again. So like obviously I would want to date for 2, maybe 3 years before even getting married. And I talk about this providing not in dating, but in like full-blown marriage or in a situation where you're completely committed. It doesn't have to be marriage, but like completely committed, maybe living together, you know, like I'm not talking about casual dating. Casual dating, I actually have different rules for. I actually think when it comes to dates, my rule that I go by is whoever invites the person out is the person that should pay. So if I hit up Paycheck right now and I'm like, hey, Paycheck, let's go see a movie. I initiated that. I said I want to see the movie. So that movie is my treat, right?
Depends what movie it is.
But I'm saying if a guy approaches me and asks me to go to dinner, I'm expecting dinner to be on him because he asked for my time. If I'm asking for your
So
time.
your time is valuable.
Very.
Yeah.
Oh
Time
my
is
God,
money.
time is money. Yeah, time is 100%
Fellas,
money.
if
your
you're
game
going to
up.
shoot your shot at Safia, you better have it all. You better have it all together.
Your game up, boy.
I mean, I have it all together. So I'm asking someone that matches where I'm at because I like maybe not all together, but like from the most standpoint, yeah, I pretty much got my shit together. So it's like I live a life that I'm very happy to be living and I'm very fulfilled in my life. I don't need anybody that's gonna bring me anything less than that.
So what do women have to change in 2021?
Well, like I said, the question really should be what do men have to change in 2021? Because I don't
And
think
we're gonna get to that, but we wanna know your perspective first.
Like you see single women, right?
yeah.
Like what do you think is like, obviously it takes two to tango.
Yes.
Obviously men have to change, women have to change. But what do you see in your perspective for women? Like what would you encourage, what would you advise you would give in this day
To bridge the gap.
I think that women need to stop defining worth outside of themselves. So I think that they need to stop waiting for men to choose them and proactively choose themselves. Once you show up for yourself and you choose yourself, you're more able to get into a relationship that's fulfilling and is able to give you everything you desire. The problem with many single women is that what they're looking for is someone to complete them. Nobody can complete you. You are already complete. So a man, or vice versa as well, for men too, it just doesn't just apply to women. A person can only come into your life and add to what you already are because you're already whole, you know? People, I think, try to this, they have this notion of I'm 50, I need my other 50. That's not how it works. It's you're 100, you deserve 100. So why are you like negating a part of yourself and telling yourself you're 50? That's when you get a man who's only 50%, who's only giving you 50% energy, who's only giving you 50% of his time, 50% of his love, his ability, you know? That's because the woman has already, and vice versa, applies for both parties, they have already decided that they aren't worth 100%. So stop even thinking about relationships and start thinking about yourself and how you can elevate, and then you'll get that back. I promise you, you'll get it back in multitudes. Guys DM me every single day. They approach me every single day. And me, I don't like, I've gotten to the point in my life where I know my wealth, my wealth, I do know my wealth, but my worth. I've gotten to the point where I know my worth so well that it doesn't faze me whether someone comes up to me and approaches me or curves me. Like neither of those affect me. Like the same way if somebody compliments me or disses me, both of those are none of my business. They're both outside of me. It does not affect what's going on here.
You're secure with
me.
yourself.
I'm secure with myself, exactly. Okay. So that's what I would say women should need to change in 2021 is they need to stop looking.
What do men need to change in 2021?
Man. I think men, that's a loaded question right there.
I have the answer to that. It's different than the
Oh, you
answer I
wanna
just gave
speak
women.
first? Go ahead.
Yeah.
There's a men's perspective, but I want to hear your perspective.
Okay,
Go ahead.
I think men need to stop saying they expect something and want something else. So a lot of men will say, "Oh, I want XYZ," but then they'll act and go towards something completely different. You know, they'll be like, "Okay, I want a woman who does this and is this type of way," but then they spend most of their time pursuing women who obviously will never be that type of woman. So it's like men need to stop saying that they want something and then act like they want something different. Like you got your actions and your intentions have to align. And I think that women do a better job at this. Women kind of go for the type of men that they say they want. You know, like if a woman wants a bad boy, she's gonna go for a bad boy. If she wants a nice guy, she's gonna go for a nice guy. Where men will be like, "Oh yeah, I want wifey," but then they're definitely going for shorty that's for the streets. And there's nothing wrong with being for the streets if that's the lifestyle you live.
No, you're right.
Live that. You
Sometimes
know.
they don't know the girls are for the streets, though. Sometimes
You
they
know.
don't.
right.
No, I 100% agree. I agree with her.
You know when she's for the streets. You know.
No. Hold on. Let me.
You might not
say
know
this.
initially,
Let me
like
say
at the
this.
beginning, but
Right.
like with time, you're gonna know.
Eventually, you'll know. But I feel like here's the thing. It's kind of going on what you were saying. The DMs that we were getting, some of the stories I was hearing from the guys were ridiculous. It's like these guys are looking for wives, they're looking for relationships, and then all of a sudden, like they find a girl, and then 2 months in, they find out she's like completely a different person. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, that's yeah.
And like she has a kid, and she didn't tell him she had a kid, and then next thing you know, this.
Oh
and
yeah, tell them about that DM you got with
yeah, the
one
homeboy.
guy.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I was talking to this girl, like we fell in love, we were on the phone, this and that.
I think that was the first red flag. You fell in love on the phone. But okay.
No, he obviously saw her in person too, but he was like, we were chopping it up for a couple months or whatever. We met up, this and that, and then she was like, I want to tell you something. And then she like dropped the bomb on him and was like, yeah, I had a kid with this one guy, blah, blah, blah. And this, and like all these things. And he's already attached to her. Like he wanted to marry her. And like, she just came out of nowhere. She was like, if I would have told you this in the beginning, you would have not gone for me. And,
She has a valid point.
but that's not good though.
Well, I think when it comes to
You
children,
got play. There's a lot of women that do
That's
that,
what I'm saying.
though.
That's
And then
getting-
by
yeah.
the time the guy fall in love, it's too late.
Way too
Sometimes like you fall in love, it's too late. You know what I mean?
late. Yeah. And
yeah.
then you end up,
How do you feel about that, Sophia? Like
I think that, okay, in that specific situation, I think she should have been upfront and honest about the fact that she had a child. I think that's one of the first things you should mention, that you have children. I get why women do not introduce their kids to people unless they're sure about them, and that's fair. Like, no one's asking you to meet the kid, but to kind of hide the existence of your child is a little weird. You shouldn't be ashamed that you have a kid. That's kind of manipulative and a little strange. Also, though, it says a lot about his character that she would think that her having a kid would affect him falling in love with her. So I feel like I think she got deep-rooted issues, if I'm going to be honest. I think she's ashamed of the fact that she had a kid, and like that's just like
Ain't
something.
nothing wrong with kids.
And there's nothing wrong with the kids, and there's nothing even wrong with being ashamed that you have a kid, because it's a process for her to deal with herself. But I think that people just need to be honest, and that's just what it comes down to. You have to have honest communication in relationships. Like you don't have to be honest about everything, but come on, you can't hide a kid, shorty. Like, what's going on? Like,
See, I represent the guys that are the everyday hardworking men out there that
you?
got their life together but are having a hard time getting across to these women. So my advice to you guys would be keep going, man. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't give up. You only lose when you quit. You know what I
and
mean?
nice guys don't finish last.
Why is
That's a
that?
lie. That's a lie. I love nice guys. If you're a nice guy, hit me up, because I don't deal with toxic. I don't like toxic guys.
Do they really finish last though?
No, they don't. Like, at least with the girl, not with all girls. I mean, the girls that are worth it at the end of the day are looking for a nice guy, because people are only looking for direct representations of themselves. So if a girl wants a fuckboy, she's a fuckboy herself. Like, that's just what it is. And if a girl wants a nice guy, usually she's a nice girl herself. So it's like people only want what they are.
You only attract.
You
You
attract who
only
you are.
attract who you are, exactly.
And if you haven't already, tap that subscribe button. Help us reach more viewers. And appreciate you guys coming on, Sophia.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me,
Yeah, we
guys.
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
Very good insight.
Yes, this was a good conversation.
Hit her-
I
hit
hope
her
that more
DMs If you
people.
have any questions, like she said, man, talk to women. So hit her up.
Don't be shy, brothers.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't be shy. Shoot your shot. And look, man, don't
Swish.
just be yourself, regardless. No matter what, be
Yeah,
yourself.
that's great
You ain't
advice.
got to act like anybody else than yourself. You know what I mean? That's the best way you can go about it.
Be a man.
Yeah.
100%.
Be a man.
Yes, sir. And we out.